Hi everybody! Welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie. Thank you for joining me for another week of live step-by-step crafting. I'm joining you here today from a warm and sunny Tucson, Arizona. And I'm really excited to bring you today two projects featured on the last chance list. Now let me just make sure that I am here live on Facebook. I am gonna follow along with your comments. So if you're watching live, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching this via replay on YouTube or Facebook, let me know that you joined me and comment and say hi. It's always fun each week to see where everybody is joining me from, and I love to see your hellos and comments along the way. Now, I had an amazing weekend back after a week of vacation. I spent some time all the way from Denver, Colorado, all the way to Palm Bay, Florida. I helped my best friend move cross country, and we were able to spend 3 days in the car with each other, and then a quick trip to Disney World at the end and back Thursday of last week. So I hope you all had an amazing weekend. It is great to be back here in warm Tucson. It was too cold for me in Denver, but I am happy to be back. Now, like I mentioned today, I'm crafting two projects from the last chance retirement list. Now, these are items retiring from our 2020-2021 annual catalog. All of the supplies that I will be highlighting today are while supplies last. So if you like them, make sure to grab them real quick and add them to your cart to make sure that you can create these projects at home as well. A couple quick announcements before I get started. My biggest announcement that I have is my spring Stampin' Bingo will be announced and registration will be opening starting tomorrow. I am so excited. I love bingo. It's my customers' favorite event that I host. And because COVID numbers right now are tracking on the downward, I am planning to anticipate to have an in-person event for this round as well as a virtual round. Because the past year has been so great with my online events and classes, I will continue to be hosting online events for those that feel that they may not just be comfortable enough to attend in person or that don't live here in Tucson. So if you are watching from anywhere in the United States, you can participate in Spring Stampin' Bingo. So if you're wanting to register, like I said, details will be released tomorrow. Now, my people that are signed up for receiving my email newsletter, you receive a first chance to sign up for my events. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter just yet, at the end of this video, there will be a link in the description that you can click to sign up for that. Now, the in-person event will be held on April 24th. It's a Saturday, and it's limited to 10 people only. Now, one of those is already sold out. It was a carryover from our previous. So there's actually only 9 seats available for in-person Spring Stampin' Bingo. Of course, I will reevaluate on April 10th when registration closes to see if we will still be hosting that event. Now, April 25th will be online virtual Stampin' Bingo. So if you are wanting to attend either one of those, at the end of this video, make sure to click sign up for my newsletter to receive the first dibs to sign up for my Spring Stampin' Bingo. I know you all watching out there love bingo, and I love it too, so I can't wait for you guys to sign up for this event. All right, let's go ahead and switch the camera here today. Now, as always, each week I have a weekly prize patrol. Now, what is prize patrol? It's a quick and easy way for yourself to enter to win free product from myself. So 2 weeks ago, because last week I was not live, the prize patrol was the Elegant Faceted Gems. And all you have to do to be entered into prize patrol is to comment and share this video. Make sure to comment that you shared it. Sometimes Facebook is a little finicky and doesn't always let me know when people have shared the video. So make sure to share this video. And our winner from last week for the Elegant Faceted Gems was Chris Reed. So congratulations to Chris. I think she normally watches live or replay. So congratulations to Chris. I'll be sending you a package of the Elegant Faceted Gems. Now this week, I am really excited about our prize patrol. I love everything sparkly and rainbow, and it doesn't get more sparkly and rainbow than rainbow glimmer paper. This paper is amazing. It's great because it doesn't shed glitter everywhere. I don't have any loose glitter in my craft room, but this paper is perfect because it has some shimmer and shine without any of that flaky glitter look. And of course, you can't go wrong with a rainbow. This is a bright, bold piece of paper, and it's so exciting to use in crafting. So this week's prize patrol is a full package of the rainbow glimmer paper, and all you have to do is share this video to be entered into this week's prize patrol. Now, speaking of rainbows, our two projects today, let me grab those, are featuring last chance products from the 2020-2021 annual catalog. These are bright and bold, perfect for my crafting style, and I hope that you guys love them too. Now, these rainbow projects feature some items that will be retiring. And when I get to each project, I'll point out which items are retiring and which ones are carrying over. My favorite has to be this Zany zebra project featuring a rainbow watercolor that's so fun to create and super easy. Anybody can do this technique as well. If you are joining me for the first time today, each week I highlight a free PDF with all the product names, product item numbers and prices, and with dimensions of each of the projects that I create today. Pair this with this video and you can follow along and create these projects on your own. Now, the link to this will be in the description of this video after I'm finished with our video here today. So all the items that are highlighted on this list today are the ones that are retiring from the catalog. So everything that's highlighted is last chance only. So you'll want to make sure to grab those as soon as possible so that you can have those to create these projects. All right, let's get started. First project we're going to create is this one using the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. So on this project, the items that are retiring are actually the stamp set and our patterned papers. Now each year Stampin' Up! Comes up with new designer series paper patterns. So our paper on these patterns will be retiring. Here is the Dandelion Wishes stamp set. This is a really fun stamp to create with. And I'm also featuring the Dainty Diamonds 3D embossing folder. Now let me grab my list. This folder is also retiring as well. So if you like that textured diamond look to the project, you'll want to grab this embossing folder to add to your project as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me put this over here so you guys can see the project as well. Today we have a piece of basic white cardstock. And I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. So this is an 8 1/2 sheet of basic white cardstock cut in half and scored down the middle. And I'm gonna use my bone folder to crisp up our line here. I have another piece of basic white cardstock. Now this is cut to 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. This is my standard basic mat size that I use for my cards. I'm going to emboss this with our Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. And because this is a larger embossing folder, we are going to need our full-size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine today. So we've got our machine here, and we are going to use platform number 1. And I really like this because not only does Stampin' Up! Put numbered platforms, but they put pictures as well. Because we're using a 3D embossing folder, we're going to use platform number 1 and plate number 4. So we've got our platform here. The best part about this folder is that there's lines across the front, so I can line up my piece of basic white cardstock right in there and it'll be straight with my design for my folder. Crease in first for my folder and then my plate number 4 right on top. So we're gonna run this through and it's gonna emboss my piece of basic white cardstock. And that off is heavy, but it's a great machine. I love how it doesn't move around. It doesn't really make like crunching and cracking noises, but the Stampin' Cut and Boss machine, I call that the Big Boss. We have the little one, the little machine that I call the Baby Boss, and this is the Big Boss. All right, we've got a bunch of different colors here. So we're gonna start from the top and go down. We've got Magenta Madness cardstock. Next, a piece of Poppy Parade Designer Series paper, Melon Mambo cardstock, Granny Apple Green cardstock, Just Jade Designer Series paper, and Misty Moonlight cardstock. Now, you may think, where did I come up with the design for this project? And I can tell you, I copied straight from our annual catalog, right here. This is the design that I used. It's a quick and easy way to use projects from the catalog. Of course, I decided to make part of it my own as well. But these catalogs are perfect for getting ideas for your next project. All right, let me just crack my door really quick. So my dog's whining here. There you go. They can go in and out now and not bother us. All right, so for our project, I'm gonna layer my pieces of colored strips first before I do any gluing. I want to make sure that my spacing is even before I glue anything down. If I were to glue it down first, then it may not be even on both sides. So I'm just gonna go down here and line everything up. Now the dimensions for these strips of cardstock are on the bottom of that PDF that I'll be posting once the video is complete. And then you can create this project at home too. So we're just gonna move down here. And there we go. So it looks like everything's good. And I'm just gonna glue down, and I'm gonna use our Tombow liquid glue. This is perfect because you don't need a lot of glue, and the tape runner may just be a little bit too wide for this. I used a bunch of this during my Sand and Sea retreat this weekend, and it may be kind of clogged up a little bit. So, okay, yes, this is a great folder. It's fun, and it creates a really fun design to it. Let's see if I can get this glue out. Doesn't seem like it wants to come out. Come on. I don't want to squeeze too hard and then it comes out too fast all over my project. It's the joy of live crafting. Things happen. Let me grab another one. You never can have too many liquid glues in your stash here. Let's see. Here's a brand new one. So this one will definitely come right out. All right, here we go. So we've got our Misty Moonlight cardstock. This is a in color from the 2020-2022 in colors. I can tell you all, I have seen the new in colors coming to the annual catalog and they are amazing. If you followed along with my videos for a while, you know I love pink. And one of the colors is pink. It reminds me of like a bubblegum pink. So I'm so excited. We don't have anything that's like a bubblegum pink in our lineup. So that color will be perfect for fitting into our core color families. All right, so I'm just lining up my strips of colored paper right to my project. And here we go. And here. Magenta Madness on top. And make sure that's all glued down. thought I had a piece of, man, I am just scattered brain today. I had everything ready to go, but I guess not. I had everything planned, you know. All right, we are going to take a piece of basic white cardstock. I still got vacation on the brain, probably. So we're going to take a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to cut that to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that will be our piece here for our dandelion, right in the middle of our project. We're going to use dimensionals to glue that down, but first I'm going to use Bermuda Bay as my stamp color. And I've got this big dandelion piece is going to be my stamp for the project. So for that one, you need your big clear block and my Bermuda Bay ink pad. Because this is a bigger stamp, I'm gonna ink it upside down so I can see exactly what has been inked up and what has not. And just a scratch piece of paper under my basic white because I'm gonna do some stamping off. Part of the dandelions are gonna hang off the end of the basic white cardstock, so I just wanna make sure that my workspace was covered so I didn't get ink on my mat. Okay, so we've got our embossed piece here with our strips of colored paper, and we're gonna use Stampin' Dimensionals to glue that down. I love dimensionals. If you've watched my videos a lot, you know I love dimensionals. I put them on practically every project I create. I did have a nice vacation, Carol. It was warm. I mean, it's warm here in Tucson already, but a different kind of warm. I originally grew up in Florida, so being able to see the ocean again and this landlocked Arizona girl was just so giddy. I love the ocean. I love the water. So, and I love Disney World. So I grew up in Florida, but I was born in Orlando. So, you know, we went to Disney World all the time. And, you know, it was not crowded at all. The lines were great. I socially distanced. I stayed safe. So I had a lot of fun. All right, for our sentiment, I am using a piece of smoky slate cardstock. And I could have done tone on tone stamping with this, but I really wanted my sentiment to be dark. So I used a basic gray ink, and we're gonna use the sentiment that says, I made a wish and you came true. So this stamp set is on the last chance retirement list, and the embossing folder is. Our inks are not, the strips of cardstock are not, but the designer series paper is on that last chance list too. Now things are going super fast off the list, so if there's something you like, make sure to grab that soon. I'm also using, this is the Tailored Tag Punch. Now this is not retiring, which I'm very happy about. I love this punch, and it's perfect even for masculine projects too. When it first came out, it was tied to a masculine stamp set in a bundle, which has since retired, but the punch lives on. All right, for my sentiment, I am going to use a little bit of liquid glue at the top, but I'm gonna put my dimensionals here at the bottom. Now this is to make sure that my level of my sentiment is the same as my dandelions. So the part with the glue is going to adhere to this, which already is one level of dimensionals, and then the rest here is all now the same height as our dandelion piece. And then as a final touch, I'm coming in with those elegant faceted gems. These are carrying over, and I'm using the clear ones here. Now, if you have the opal rounds, those have a little bit of iridescent shimmer to them. That would be really fun. with this project too. And the opal rounds carry over as well. All right, so this is our first project today, featuring the Dandelion Wishes stamp set, the Dainty Diamonds 3D embossing folder, and those two items will be retiring from this project. So I hope you guys like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I like to always hear what you guys think about our projects, and today it's nice and bright and rainbow and super fun. All right, this is probably my favorite project that we're going to create today. This features the Zany Zebras stamp set, and I'm so sad that that's retiring. This stamp set debuted in the 2021 annual catalog, so we have only had it for a year. So I love that it's fun and bright, and when you pair it with some bright bold colors, it's just even more better. All right, today we're using a piece of basic black cardstock, and I'm going to be using Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So this is watercolor paper that's perfect for using our re-inkers, our ink re-inkers with. And that's how I'm gonna be creating our background watercolor rainbow wash. So I wanna clear some of this out of the way because we are gonna be covering our workspace today with a piece of grid paper. When you work with re-inkers, you always want to make sure that your workspace is covered and everything won't get on your work center. All right, we are going to use, these are now called water painters. Before they were aqua painters, but now we have water painters. They come in a 3-pack and they're a little different. So we're all used to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But these are lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, or whatever the backwards version is. So to open them, you turn them to the right, and then to close them, you turn them to the left. So the first time I got them, I was like, why aren't these opening? And it's because I was turning them the wrong way. So if you have them, just a little tip for that. They come in a 3-pack for $12, and you get 3 different brush sizes. You get a fine tip, a regular brush, and today we're gonna use this really big flat-ended brush. It's like a big paint brush. I'm also going to be using, let me get my container out here. We're gonna be using Memento ink for our zebra because we're going to be using Stampin' Write markers. We're not going to be watercoloring, so you're not going to need Stays-On for that, but you can use Memento ink and a bunch of Stampin' Write markers. Now these are all from the Brights collection. So the color family of Brights, we've got Melon Mambo, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Bermuda Bay, and Gorgeous Grape. So those are the colors we'll be using on the zebra. And then for our background watercolor wash, we'll be using re-inkers for our ink pads. Now, using refills is a perfect way, oops, I dropped one, where did it go? Is a perfect way to be able to get another use out of your re-inkers. So these are not just for ink pads. You can do so many different things with these, including watercoloring like today. So what I'm gonna do for this one, I'm not using Melon Mambo, I'm using Magenta Madness. I really wanted that bright pink for this card. So I'm using 2 drops of each color, and you can use your clear blocks as your paint palette. They wipe off easy, and you can just clean them off with soap and water, or when I'm done, I can even wipe it up with a baby wipe to clear these off. So we've got Mango, or Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, bloop, and Granny Apple Green. These are all really bright, bold colors that are fun to create with. And they're all water-based. So if you get them on your hands, they'll wash right off. Some of the darker colors may need a couple of washes to come off, just like with any other dark ink. But these are perfect, and you can stretch out your ink refills. Of course, you can re-ink your ink pads with these, but there's a variety of different ways that you can use them. All right, we've got our big water painter filled with water, and I'm just gonna take a couple of drops of water in each one. If it'll come out, come on, there we go. A couple of drops just onto the re-inker to get them saturated and turned more into watercolor paints. There we go. Make sure your workspace is covered, and we're just gonna swirl some of that ink onto our brush. And before I do that, I'm going to saturate my paper with water. So when you use the ink refills, if you saturate your paper with the water, it'll spread more and get a really good coverage to your paper. So we've got our magenta, and we're just gonna paint that on there. I've got a cup of water over here and a paper towel. So this is kind of like a little mini Technique Tuesday with our Makers Monday today. So I'm gonna wash out my paint, and I'm gonna wipe off my brush and move on to our next color, our Mango Melody. And we're just gonna blend our colors. Same thing with our Daffodil. You can even swirl your colors together and really get them all mixed up. Clean out our brush. Dab the color out, go for our Granny Apple. See, with the paper already being wet and saturated, it really helps it move around and get those colors out there. Bermuda Bay, this one's fun. Move up a little bit. Got our Bermuda. Okay. And the last one, our Gorgeous Grape. That's that really dark purple. That's fun. And there we go. Okay. Now we are going to put this off to the side to let this dry. We may have to get the heat gun out for this, but we'll see how this goes and dries. All right, I'm gonna move my water off to the side. We're gonna move these off to the side. See, that's exactly why you wanna cover your workspace, because you could get ink and paint everywhere. If you notice, see how my paper curled a little bit? I have some pooling of color down here at the bottom. So you can take your paper towel and just kind of dab that on there to get rid of the pooling. And to help this dry quicker, I'm gonna dab my paper as well. And you'd wanna make sure you kind of have a clean part so you don't mix your inks on there too much. So just gonna dab that to help make it dry just a little bit quicker. We're gonna move that off to the edge, and we're gonna work on our rest of the project here. I'll put this there so you guys can see. Now, I'm so sad about these dies. These are the stitched nested dies from the catalog. Now, these dies are on the retirement list. I have used them in so many of my classes and projects, and I am very sad to see them leave today. They're the perfect dies to have in your craft stash, and they're great. This diamond shape is amazing. So the stitch nested dies are on the retirement list, as well as the Zany Zebras stamp set. Now it's funny, I showed my husband these projects this weekend and he said, "What, the zebras are retiring? They just arrived." I thought it was funny that he knew that this stamp set just came, and he knows how sad I am to see that go too. We are going to stamp our zebra using the Memento ink. And we're using this stamp right here in the corner. I love the punny sentiments that go along with this, like kick your heels up, you party animal, and then the one we're using today, wild about you. So I'm gonna ink up my zebra, make sure he's well inked up, and we're gonna stamp it right in the middle of our stitched die. Now also on the list are the stitched shapes dies, and those I definitely am sad to go. I feel like the stitched shape dies are perfect for any skill level, anybody. They're perfect beginner dies too. So I was sad to see those leave. All right, we're gonna color in our zebra, and I'm just using the Stampin' Right markers. And what I'm doing is I'm just coloring the little tufts of hair on the zebra. We're gonna go down the line here. We've got Mango Melody, some Daffodil Delight. Oh, down here the legs, Granny Apple. And the best part about this is the zebra doesn't even have to be like completely colored in, and you can see his vibrant hues taking shape here. So we've got our rainbow zebra. We're gonna use, I'm just gonna use liquid glue to glue this down. You can use tape runner, but I've got liquid glue right here, so it's easy to put together. Plus then when I glue these, I can make sure everything is lined up with the stitched dies. See, that one just moved, and I can move it right back. Okay, this looks to be dry. Yep. So we are gonna adhere that to our card base. Now I am going to use Stampin' Seal Plus on this. Because our watercolor paper, you can see it's not flat anymore. It does have a little bit of a curve to it. The Stampin' Seal Plus will really hold down the whole project without having to worry about it moving. Our Seal Plus is our stickiest adhesive that we have, and once this is down, it's not moving. So you won't want to move it around. If you try to lift it up, it will rip your paper. That's how strong this adhesive is. So I've got my adhesive on all four corners and one diagonal, and we're gonna place that right in the middle, making sure it's exactly where I want it. We've got that down. See, you may get a little inky. That's okay. That's how you know you're having fun. We're gonna add dimensionals to the back of our card piece here with the zebra. Yes, I'm sad to see the stitched nested dies go. I'm really sad to see the stitched shape dies. Again, I use those in just about every class that I do. So I'm gonna have to think of fun new ways to create some stitched shapes going on for our projects. All right, our sentiment piece. Now, how cute is this Wild About You in rainbow ink? So an easy way to do this is we're going to use our Wild About You stamp. And with our Stampin' Right markers, you can color directly right onto your stamp. So we're gonna come back in with the Stampin' Rights, and we're just gonna color. Now, this is how our Stampin' Right markers differ from our Stampin' Blends. You don't wanna color on our inks or our stamps with Stampin' Blends. They're alcohol-based markers, and they could damage your stamps. So the best thing to do is use Stampin' Right markers. These are actually the same ink that we have in our ink pads. So you can stamp with these as you color directly onto your stamp. If you are a new stamper and you may not have the budget for all the ink pads, these Stampin' Right markers are your best bet. You can get the whole set and you can color in just like I am on my stamps. And it's a quick and easy way to get all the colors if you don't have all the ink pads. Now, after you've colored everything, you want to give your stamp a little huff. So that will re-moisten the ink if you've taken just a little bit longer to color in. And then you have a really fun rainbow ombre look to your sentiment. I'm going to use the classic label punch for the sentiment. Now, this is retiring as well too. So we're gonna take our diamond theme from our stitched shapes to our sentiment, and I'm going to use liquid glue to glue that down. You want to use liquid glue on the classic label punch because the tape runner is too wide and you'll have like sticky pieces hanging off the side of your project. So we've got our sentiment down there in the corner. We're going to embellish with the black matte dots. I didn't get to use these as often as I wanted to. They're carrying over, so that's good. These black dots will work for Halloween projects, and I'm excited to use those. These are in our spring catalog, so we haven't had them for Halloween yet. So this will be fun to use Halloween time. And what is a rainbow project and a rainbow zebra without a little bit of Wink of Stella glitter brush? You have to color in the zebra and make it sparkly for this. How would it have been to stamp on your block? Oh, with my watercolor re-inkers, I could have done that. So let's see. So I've got all of my inks here left over, so I could easily just pick that up and stamp. It's really juicy though, you can see. Let's clean that off a little bit. Maybe I could do a bigger sentiment, but let's just do one tap. So yeah, it may just be a little juicy. You can't really see the words if you were to stamp into these watercolor palettes that I've made. Yeah, it doesn't really, maybe it's just because it's a tinier word. Let's try this one that we did on our last project. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's just a little too juicy K for creating your own kind of rainbow ink pad there. But that's a great idea. I would have never thought to actually use that as an ink pad. All right, so we've got our Wink of Stella. Yes, love Wink of Stella. No loose glitter here in this craft room. So we are going to make our zebra sparkle just a little. If you aren't too familiar with what Wink of Stella is, it is a glitter brush. There's like glitter liquid inside basically, and you can use it to paint right on your project. The best part about this is that it's buildable. So if you notice that your zebra is not as shiny or sparkly as you like, you can always come in with more Wink of Stella and add more glitter to your project. So it dries very quickly, it doesn't flake off, and so you can have a bunch of shine and shimmer to your project. So Wink of Stella is fun, and this is not retiring. I'm very happy about that. All right, so here is our last project today, featuring Last Chance Retirement products with the Stitch Nested Dies and the Zany Zebra stamp set, plus the classic label punch. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of live step-by-step crafting here with Makers Monday. I'm Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and each week I come to you live on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time with step-by-step crafting. I hope you all have an amazing week, and make sure to check out the description of this video to sign up for my newsletter to know about my future events. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.